Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and my name is Nadia. All right, let me say something that might surprise you. For the longest time, I thought multiple orgasms were either exaggerated or reserved for some mysterious group of people who had it all figured out. But here's the truth. They're not magic, they're not luck, and they're definitely not about being more experienced than someone else. There's something you learn. And today I'm going to walk you through exactly how I went from feeling confused and disconnected to experiencing multiple orgasms easily and, more importantly, confidently. First, let's talk about the reality most people don't say out loud. A lot of people, especially young adults, feel pressure when it comes to sex. Pressure to perform, pressure to respond a certain way, pressure to finish in a specific timeline. And honestly, that pressure is one of the biggest reasons people struggle to even have *1 satisfying orgasm, let alone multiple. Let's be real. If your mind is busy worrying, comparing, or overthinking, your body is not going to fully relax into pleasure. And multiple orgasms, they require presence, they require connection, they require letting go. Here's where my shift started. I stopped treating pleasure like a goal and started treating it like an experience. That sounds simple, but it changes everything. Because when you're chasing an outcome, I need to orgasm, I need to do it again, you create tension. And tension is the enemy of sensitivity. But when you slow down, breathe, and actually feel what's happening in your body, you open the door to something deeper. Let's go a little deeper into the psychology here. Most people are disconnected from their bodies, not because they want to be, but because of how we're raised. We're taught to ignore sensations, to push through discomfort, to stay in our heads. So when it comes to intimacy, we suddenly expect ourselves to be completely in tune without ever practicing that skill. That's where everything changed for me. I started paying attention, not just during intimacy, but outside of it. How does my body respond to touch? What feels relaxing? What feels tense? Because multiple orgasms aren't just about what happens in the moment. They're about how connected you are to your body all the time. Now let's talk about something most people don't talk about, the emotional layer. Because here's the truth. Your ability to experience deeper pleasure is directly linked to how safe you feel emotionally, mentally, physically. If there's even a small part of you that feels judged, rushed, or uncomfortable, your body will hold back. And that's not a flaw, that's intelligence. So one of the biggest shifts I made, I got honest about my boundaries. I stopped saying yes when I meant maybe. I stopped going along with things just to keep the vibe. I started choosing partners and situations that felt genuinely safe, and suddenly everything changed. Let me give you a real life scenario. Imagine you're with someone and things are progressing, but you're slightly distracted. Maybe you're thinking about how you look. Maybe you're wondering if you're doing it right. Maybe you're just not fully present. Now compare that to a moment where you feel completely at ease. No pressure, no expectations, just connection. Which one do you think leads to deeper pleasure? Exactly. Multiple orgasms don't come from trying harder. They come from feeling safer and more present. Now, let's get practical, because I know that's what you're really here for. How did I actually start experiencing multiple orgasms more easily? It came down to a few key shifts. First, I stopped rushing. This is huge. Most people move too fast. They jump from zero to intensity without allowing their body to fully warm up. But your body isn't a switch, it's a process. When you take your time, you build sensitivity, and that sensitivity is what makes multiple waves of pleasure possible. So slow down, way down. Second, I learned to stay in the feeling instead of pulling away. This one changed everything. A lot of people unconsciously tense up or disengage right after an orgasm. They think, okay, that's it. But here's the truth. If you stay relaxed, if you keep breathing, if you allow the sensation to continue instead of shutting it down, your body can move into another wave. That's the difference. It's not about starting over, it's about continuing. Third, breathing. I know it sounds basic, but most people hold their breath without realizing it. And when you hold your breath, you limit the flow of sensation through your body. When I started focusing on slow, deep breathing, everything intensified, not in a forced way, but in a natural, flowing way. Think of your breath as the bridge between your mind and your body. Fourth, communication. Whether you're alone or with a partner, awareness matters. But with a partner, communication is everything. You need to feel comfortable expressing what you like, what you don't like, and what you want more of. And that doesn't have to be awkward or clinical. It can be simple, it can be playful, but it needs to be honest. Because no one can read your mind. And let's talk about something modern and real for a second. The impact of digital culture. We're constantly exposed to unrealistic expectations through social media, through adult content, through conversations that aren't always honest. And that creates a distorted idea of what pleasure should look like. Here's the truth. Your experience doesn't need to match anyone else's. There is no normal timeline. There is no correct way. The moment you let go of comparison, you create space for real discovery. Another important piece, self-respect. And I don't mean that in a cliche way. I mean genuinely valuing your comfort, your boundaries, and your experience. Because when you respect yourself, you don't settle for situations that feel off. You don't ignore your intuition. You don't push yourself to perform. And that self-respect creates the foundation for deeper pleasure. Let me share something personal. There was a time when I thought I needed to act a certain way to be desirable, to respond in ways I thought were expected, and honestly, it disconnected me from my own experience. It wasn't until I dropped that performance that things became real, and that's when everything started to shift. Now, I want to make something very clear. Multiple orgasms are not the goal. They're an asterisk, result, asterisk, a result of being present, a result of feeling safe, a result of understanding your body. So if you focus only on getting there, you might miss the entire experience along the way. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Slow down, listen to your body, breathe, communicate, respect yourself, and most importantly, let go of pressure, because pleasure doesn't come from force, it comes from freedom. And if there's one thing I've learned through this whole journey, it's that your body is not something you need to fix, it's something you need to understand. If this made you think differently, if it helped you feel a little more confident, a little more curious, then take that energy with you, start exploring, start noticing, start connecting, because the more you understand yourself, the more everything else starts to fall into place. And trust me, once you stop chasing the outcome, you might be surprised by just how much your body is capable of.